Hello, welcome to Wikifiends. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm David.
And we are the Wikifiends. We've got a free-form episode for you tonight with an assortment of some interesting articles. So let's dive right into it.
Freeform.
Zoom, 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 zoom. The first article I have is tracer ammunition. Are you familiar with this, Dave?
I think I've used it before in a game.
Okay. Tracer ammunition, also known as tracers, are bullets or cannon caliber projectiles that are built with a small pyrotechnic charge in their base. Ignited by the burning powder, the pyrotechnic composition burns very brightly, making the projectile trajectory visible to the naked eye during daylight and very bright during nighttime firing. This enables the shooter to make aiming corrections without observing the impact of the rounds fired and without using the sights of the weapon. When used, tracers are usually loaded as every fifth round in machine gun belts, referred to as 4-to-1 tracer. Platoon and squad leaders will load some tracer rounds in their magazine or even use solely tracers to mark targets for their soldiers to fire on. Tracers are also sometimes placed 2 or 3 rounds from the bottom of magazines to alert the shooter that their weapon is almost empty. During World War II, aircraft with fixed machine guns or cannons mounted would sometimes have a series of tracer rounds added near the end of the ammunition belts to alert the pilot that he was almost out of ammunition. More often, however, the entire magazine was loaded 4-to-1 on both fixed offensive and flexible defensive guns to help mitigate the difficulties of aerial gunnery. Tracers were very common on most World War II aircraft with the exception of night fighters, which needed to be able to attack and shoot down the enemy before they realized they were under attack, and without betraying its own location to the enemy defensive gunners. The United States relied heavily on tracer ammunition for the defensive Browning M250 caliber machine guns on their heavy bombers, but they found that during deflection shooting, gunners who tried to aim using the tracers rather than the sights ended up not leading the enemy aircraft enough and missing because of an optical illusion that made it appear that the tracers were striking the aircraft, when in reality they were passing significantly behind it. This proved true of fixed forward firing guns as well. In some cases, gunners were ordered not to use tracer ammunition at all, but in the end, with greater emphasis during training on using the sights and not trusting the tracers, the problem was also solved to a large degree. These rounds can also have a mild incendiary effect and can ignite flammable substances on contact, provided the tracer compound has started burning and is still burning on impact. So that's the main gist of it. It gives you also the construction of it. The tracer is constructed with a hollow base with a pyrotechnic flare material, also often made of phosphorus or magnesium. And it also, they will use different compounds to make different, types of light. Yeah. And then it says some modern designs use compositions that produce little to no visible light and radiate mainly in infrared, being visible only on night vision equipment. And then it just gives sort of the designations. But I guess that's the main gist of it. I guess they're not. Modern jet fighters rely on radar or laser-guided missiles to track and destroy enemy planes on other targets. So I guess they're not in use as much on jets, but they're still used with ground forces.
I like the cunning in it because it's like a non-directly lethal use of firearms and projectiles. It's this thing about aiming and bringing shit to attention.
I think the more interesting is the squad or platoon leader thing where you'll you'll shoot the tracer round to show where you want your troops to fire their weapons.
Well, it's because he's got the most information. He's got guys. He's in contact with guys who can see where he should be. He's directing. It is like it's like a orchestra leader.
Yeah, and when he's the for lack of a better term, the boss. So it's his call essentially.
He's got the most info. They do what he says. He says do it there.
Yeah. And I guess also I find it interesting the loading a few rounds at the end of a magazine to let you know that you're almost out. That's kind of interesting.
Or just the once in a while to just remind you which way you're shooting, to kind of reorient you. No, it's weird. It's non-lethal. It's like intent has something to do with orientations. And I mean, that's what I mean. It's like a non-lethal projectile. Like, it's weird.
Well, it's not non-lethal.
Well, it's not. It's intent. It seems that it has a different intention other than instant neutralizing. So
yeah, I mean, it's still a bullet. Though is what I'm saying. Like if you got shot with one, it would still do a great amount of damage to you as comparable to another non-tracer round.
I do like that thing where it gives off some kind of chemical that can only be seen through night vision. That kind of gets it's like clandestine orchestration.
Yeah. So I guess that's a little short one I had, but what was the context in which you used it?
I think in games that it refers to it being more like heat seeking.
like it seeks a engine of a fighter plane or some such.
I feel like I've heard it used more as a bullet that is either stronger because it's incendiary or whatever, or it's heat seeking. It traces. That's where the term tracing comes from. It. So I can see its original use.
Well, I think that's a different thing then. I don't think that. I think heat seeking is different from tracer, but
the incendiary ones though, that might be more. I guess in reality, but
I guess incendiary is closer, but I think they have just incendiary rounds, so I think this is specifically the light thing. But here's an interesting thing. Tracers proved useful as a countermeasure against Zeppelins used by Germany during World War I. The airships were used for reconnaissance, surveillance, and bombing operations. Normal bullets merely had the effect of causing a slow leak, but tracers could ignite the hydrogen gas bags and bring down the airships quickly. So that's kind of interesting.
Just all it takes is one.
Yeah, you're just setting a big thing of gas on fire with it.
It's not ineffective.
What?
Ineffective devices.
The Zeppelins?
Yes.
Well, it seems like they were okay for the time.
No, it is. It's like it sees a mouse. Ooh, that'll kill me right away.
Yeah. And also in World War II, U.S. naval and Marine air crew were issued tracer rounds with their sidearms for emergency signaling use as well as defense. So I guess
that makes sense. I mean, yeah.
So sort of just like a flare.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you have?
Have you ever heard of Francine Gottfried?
No. Is it Gilbert Gottfried's wife?
No. I don't know if there's any relation. Who knows? They're both from New York, so maybe. Okay. Francine Gottfried, born in 1947, was a clerical worker in New York City's financial district who acquired sudden brief celebrity when in the space of 2 weeks in September 1968, increasing numbers of men began watching her as she walked to work. Newspapers dubbed her Wall Street's Sweater Girl, as her curvaceous figure seemed to be the sole reason that the crowds formed spontaneously around her whenever she appeared in the financial district. Gottfried started working at chemical plant in the financial district on May 27, 1968. By late August, a small band of girl watchers had noticed her, and she always followed the same route. They timed her daily arrival and started spreading the word to their colleagues and coworkers. For 3 weeks, the band of gawkers grew exponentially larger until on September 8th, there were 2,000 people waiting for her. By this point, the crowd itself had become the phenomenon drawing the crowd, and the following day, September 9th, over 5,000 financial district employees downed tools, left work, and poured into the streets at 1:15 p.m. to watch the 5'3" brunette exit the BMT station, clad in a tight yellow sweater and miniskirt, and walk to her job at the chemical plant New York Trust Company's downtown data processing center. Police closed the streets and escorted her through the mob, which damaged 3 cars as men climbed onto their roofs to gain a better view. Stockbrokers and bankers leaned out of windows overlooking Wall Street to watch as trading came to a virtual halt. Ticker tapes went unattended, and dignified brokers ran amok, wrote New York Magazine. Photographers from all the daily papers in Lifetime New York snapped her picture. A bus panics Wall Street as the tape reads 43, ran a headline in the Daily News. So big fucking deal, right? Like,
that's a really good article. what I know you said when she was born. When did this occur?
September 19th, 1968.
Mm-hmm. So she would have been 21?
Born in 47.
Yeah.
The following Friday, September 20th, the corner of Wall and Broad was jammed with 10,000 spectators and press who waited for Gottfried in vain. Her boss had called and asked her to stay home to put a stop to all the disturbances. A nice Jewish girl who lived at home with her parents in Williamsburg, she wasn't seeking notoriety and started taking a different route to work. "I think you're all crazy," she was quoted as saying. "What are they doing this for? I'm just an ordinary girl." On October 4th, publicists took other busty women to Wall Street as rivals for Gottfried's attention, such as Miss Jerry Stotts, an office manager flown in from Burbank, California by an LA radio station, and Ronnie Bell, a stripper in a New York burlesque house. After that, the Francine mania on Wall Street quickly subsided. Oh, okay. See, it was just like Wall Street was just full of these like fucking gross dudes. Like no women there, and they all just went bananas.
Well, was she? Does it have a picture of her?
Oh yeah. You can find, not on the article, but there's tons of pictures. It was like
she's a busty lady.
Yeah. They called her the Sweater Girl. I was looking into that concept, and it's kind of like it's a combination of the way bras were back then, like cones with these,
like those torpedo bras.
But it's specifically that bra with like an Angora sweater makes this weird, like angular, busty look, and they would call these girls Sweater Girls. Okay. And so like Gottfried was a related article. This kind of
she's like, is she like the archetypal sweater girl?
I don't think she's the archetype, but it's just kind of like this thing was hot, and
she's a big example of it.
A practitioner, yeah.
A practitioner. Yeah.
A victim of the trend. So let me see. Although Gottfried made it clear to interviewers that she was willing to entertain movie and modeling offers, her 15 minutes of fame were soon over, and she quickly faded into obscurity. Brief accounts of the crowd-gathering phenomenon she triggered subsequently appeared in a number of sociological and pop historical books, some treating it as a survival of the so-called bosom mania of the 1950s. A folk song about her, slightly contrasting the crowd that went to see her with the one welcoming presidential candidate Richard Nixon nearby, was published in Broadside magazine. Artist and prankster Joey Skaggs offered a facetious show of support by hanging a 50-foot black bra opposite the stock exchange. She dined with the Apollo 10 astronauts and Esquire awarded her a Dubious Achievement Award, depicting her with other dubious achievers on the cover of the January 1970th issue. She was also referred to as a cultural icon of the era in Thomas Hauser's novel Finding the Princess. The events of September 1968 made an impression on second-wave feminists in the city, and in March 1970 they retaliated in a raid on Wall Street, which they dubbed the Ogle Inn, in which a large group of feminists, including Carla J., Alexa Kate Schulman, and a number of women who had participated in the sit-in at the Ladies' Home Journal a few weeks before, sexually harassed male Wall Street workers on their way to work. Susan Brown Miller reminisced in her memoir, In Our Time, in the 1970s, the movement began to politicize street harassment with collective action. The Ogle Inn was a popular tactic. A bunch of us would gather on a street corner and take turns on leering, lip-smacking men by giving them an own taste of their medicine. After the what?
Go on.
After the newspapers reported that a bunch of stock market employees had developed a fun morning ritual before work, gathering on the street to watch a particular secretary with large breasts emerge from a subway station, Carla J. organized a retaliatory Ogle Inn on Wall Street. She chose a March afternoon at lunchtime. It was incredibly liberating to reverse the wolf whistles, animal noises, and body part appraisals that customarily flowed in our direction. Wendy Roberts, a free-spirited hippie who called herself Wendy Wonderful, was my heroine that day. She sauntered up to an unwitting passerby and grabbed his crotch. Oh, retribution.
So that seems like actual assault, though. The grabbing the crotch.
Yeah.
These crazy feminists, they were always at it.
Yeah, what's the big deal? It's not like they all grabbed the tits. What's the big deal?
Yeah, times haven't changed. These crazy feminists are still at it.
Hey, these feminists are just mad at me because I like to yell at knockers. Fuck you.
How did the Ogle Inn go, though? Was it successful?
It sounds like it was a good time. I don't see them getting arrested or anything.
But did the men did they? Because that's the thing. Like you would think that men probably would care less, right?
Or I don't know. I mean, maybe some. It doesn't seem like there was much of a backlash.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's all right. I don't really agree with the physically touching someone's genitals against their will, but, I guess the other part is okay.
Well, they made their point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I like the first part of it better.
No, it is it really made me think about sometimes you can kind of think of yourself as in the past or living in the past, but this is the kind of shit that makes you realize just how different things were back then. Like guys lining up.
Yeah. I guess you don't need to do that anymore. See a big-breasted woman, you could just look online.
That's right.
Yeah. But I guess it was not a good time for women in general, though. So.
Yeah. Well, God, these guys got nothing better to do. Bad time for men too.
Yeah, I'd say bad time for business owners that were losing that with lost productivity.
I don't care about our knockers, you idiots. Get back in here.
Bad for women with large breasts and Angora sweaters. Bad for business owners.
I'm not paying you to stare at tits, you fucking idiots. That would be the best part of a biopic about it.
Yeah, that's the unlikely ally.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy that would brought in the other busty women. Oh, you want busty women, huh? Well, I'll bring one in the fucking office, you idiots.
Yeah. I guess it's sort of like nowadays when it's maybe not nowadays, but when you see the things of it'll be people that are opposed to pornography, and it'll be a certain type of feminist, but also a very right-wing, ultra-religious type.
Right,
it's,
right.
It's like and,
Strange Bedfellows, definitely.
Yeah, but I guess it doesn't. The article doesn't touch on business owners being upset by this, but I mean, so I guess that was my, edification or my, conjecture.
Her boss told her to stay at home, and they brought other women as rivals. So.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, but that's not bosses of the men that were shirking on their work to check out this woman. But
it's a very odd story, though. Like imagine just being a guy who's working down there, and just all these other guys like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Like, we got to get down there."
Yeah.
The fuck, like it is like mass psychosis or something.
All right, well, that one's pretty good. I like that one. What's her name again?
Francine Gottfried.
All right. You have to check it. I'll have to check out a picture of her.
I'll have to check her out.
Yeah. She's still alive?
47, and I don't know.
It doesn't list her current. It doesn't say like dead or anything.
This is a weird article because usually they do give a whole profile with like a lot of information. This one is kind of like more. It's very short, not much.
All right. Maybe I'll have to check out Gilbert Gottfried to see if it has any anyone under relatives.
That's my mother.
Well, I don't. If she was born in 47, I don't think when was Gilbert Gottfried born? Probably in the late 40s, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Early 50s.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and I don't want to tip my hat, but I think Mr. Gottfried will appear again in another article from me later.
Oh no!
An Aladdin based article.
Aha!
All right. So the next article I have is Canary Trap. The Canary Trap is a method for exposing an information leak by giving different versions of a sensitive document to each of several suspects and seeing which version gets leaked. Special attention is paid to the quality of the prose of the unique language in the hopes that the suspect will repeat it verbatim in the leak, thereby identifying the version of the document. The term was coined by Tom Clancy in his novel Patriot Games, although Clancy did not invent the technique. The actual method, usually referred to as a barium meal test in espionage circles, has been used by intelligence agencies for many years. The fictional character Jack Ryan describes the technique he devised for identifying the sources of leaked classified documents. So I guess this is a line from Tom Clancy's Patriot Games. Each summary paragraph has 6 different versions, and the mixture of those paragraphs is unique to each numbered copy of the paper. There are over 1,000 possible permutations, but only 96 numbered copies of the actual document. The reason the summary paragraphs are so lurid is to entice a reporter to quote them verbatim in the public media. If he quotes something from 2 or 3 of those paragraphs, we know which copy he saw, and therefore who leaked it. A refinement of this technique uses a thesaurus program to shuffle through synonyms, thus making every copy of the document unique. So here are known Canary Trap cases. Following the troubled production of Star Trek The Motion Picture in the late 1970s, Paramount Pictures effectively replaced Gene Roddenberry as producer of further movies in the franchise with Harvey Bennett. Roddenberry was retained as an executive consultant due to the high regard the series fans held him in. While he had little real authority, he was still kept involved in the creative process. The fans often complained about particular plot developments proposed for the films, such as the death of Spock in Star Trek II, that Roddenberry had opposed. So before any drafts of the screenplay for Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, were circulated, Bennett arranged for each individual copy to have subtle clues distinguishing it from the others. Shortly after Roddenberry opposed the destruction of the Enterprise at the climax of that film, fans began to complain to Paramount and Bennett. He found that a leaked copy of the script was the one given to Roddenberry, but was unable to do anything about it. That's kind of funny. Like Roddenberry's just like, yeah, I did it.
I wanted them to see what you were going to do.
I made Star Trek. I made the Enterprise.
You think the fans want this? Look.
Yeah. All right. After a series of leaks at Tesla Motors in 2008, CEO Elon Musk reportedly sent slightly different versions of an email to each employee in an attempt to reveal potential leakers. The email was disguised as a request to employees to sign a new non-disclosure agreement. The plan backfired when the company's general counsel forwarded his own unique version of the email with the attached agreement. As a result, Musk's scheme was realized by employees who now had a safe copy to leak.
Woo.
I like that one.
Yeah, bit him in the ass. He got caught trying to be slick.
Yeah. But the guy didn't realize, and he just thought he was being helpful. Unless he was the real leaker.
Right. Or dumb or bad, yeah.
So he was either, I guess. He was either witless or he was a very, very crafty traitor.
No, you've ruined it.
And then it just lists it has a list of its use in popular culture, in different media. Let's see here. The barium meal test, and according to the book Spycatcher by Peter Wright, the technique is standard practice that has been used by MI5 for many years under the name barium meal test. A barium meal test is more sophisticated than a Canary Trap because it is flexible and may take many different forms. However, the basic premise is to reveal a secret to a suspected enemy, but nobody else, then monitor whether there is evidence of the fake information being utilized by the other side. For example, the double agent could be offered some tempting bait, e.g. be told that important information was stored at a dead drop site. The fake dead drop site could then be periodically checked for signs of disturbance. If the site showed signs of being disturbed in order to copy the microfilm stored there, then this would confirm that the suspected enemy really was an enemy, i.e. a double agent. So I guess it's used with real spies.
I see. It's just like testing them.
Yeah, you're giving them you're revealing a supposed juicy piece of evidence or information, but it's just a trap. Which I feel like I see that fairly often in media, not in real life. I don't see it in real life.
Yeah, no, they do. It's always like, haha, you idiot. That was unique to you.
All right. Well, so what do you have next?
This one, I found this one to be very annoying. It's this fad called hunkering. Have you heard of this?
No.
Hunkering is in particular the name applied to the American fad of resting in the squatting position in the late 1950s. Hunkering has been used in many cultures, particularly in Asia, for centuries, when it suddenly became a fad in the United States in 1959. Time reported that the craze started at the University of Arkansas when a shortage of chairs at a fraternity house led students to imitate their Ozark forefathers who hunkered regularly. While the term hunkering is believed to originate from the Scots word for haunches, claims where it was made for Yorkshire, Korea, and Japan. It's like hunkering down.
Yeah.
The fad spread first to Missouri, Mississippi, and Oklahoma, and then across the U.S. White males were the predominant hunkerers. It was reported that female hunkerers were also welcomed. Within months, regional hunkering competitions were being held to discover champion hunkers. See, all this shit makes no fucking sense to me. Like, I feel
that it doesn't seem like. Is it just like an endurance thing? Like you see how long you could be in a squat?
Like regional hunkering competitions. Like, yeah, what is that? Is it endurance? Like, you know, just like how long can you do it?
I mean, this reminds me of sort of the. I guess the meme that's, I don't know if it's as popular now, but it was pretty popular. No, pretty popular somewhat recently. The Slav squat, where it's...
Made me think of that too.
It's Slavic. Well, this is exactly, I mean, that's squatting. Hunkering is squatting, correct?
It is. And that is the big funny, like Eastern European stereotype, the squatting Slav, yeah.
This with the track pants,
with like
squatting
with a cigarette, right? Like,
yeah.
No, like, but you know, it is like I kind of thought of it. It is like that, of course, it's like that, but there's a bit of like planking though to it. It's just this kind of stupid thing.
Well, it's any fad sort of body contortion, I guess.
That's what it's so bizarre to me is like I really do see that as just like a way of resting, a way of being at rest. I don't think of it as like a unique movement or like something you could build a fad around. You know what I mean? It's just it's odd. Like that's what seems so bizarre to me about it.
I think it might be. It seems like it could be a cyclical thing as well.
What do you mean?
Like I guess squatting comes back. It becomes popular.
Squatting's back, man.
Well, I think in a way it was back because I think for a while, like squatting, you know, like it was popular, I guess, in Eastern Europe, supposedly based on those memes. And then it became like for a bit, a fad was to like perhaps dress up as a squatting Slav. I saw a little bit of that as well.
What is like it then?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no like identity related to it though. It seemed like this 50s thing was legitimately interested in like physically doing it.
Well, I think the Slavic squat is also sort of. I mean, when the Slavs did it, it was just like a way of sitting, I guess, and I don't know.
Well, hold on. Let me get through the rest of this. Considered by authorities as a preferable to the craze of previous year phone booth stuffing. People hunkered for hours on car roofs, in phone booths, or wherever people gathered. Life referred to it as social squatting. Different styles of hunkering were reported, as sophisticates tended to hunker flat-footed, while others hunkered with their elbows inside the knees. Reasons for the popularity of hunkering included the ability of large groups of people to participate together peacefully to discuss issues such as politics or sport. When asked about the popularity of hunkering, one hunkerer said hunkering was a respite from the world of turmoil. The main purpose of hunkering is to get down and hunker together. It's a friendship thing. Get your friends to hunker with you. The man you don't know is the man you haven't hunkered with. By the 1960s, hunkering was less common. Hunkerers had encouraged United States President Dwight Eisenhower and General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Nikita Khrushchev, to hunker together to end their differences.
Yeah.
Khrushchev, whatever.
Khrushchev.
Yeah. Well, they just got to hunker together.
Did they do it?
Apparently not.
I think that was also a thing, like Henry Ford wanted like Hitler and like
hunker down Hitler.
He wanted in like I don't know, like FDR and like I don't know, maybe Churchill or Chamberlain or whatever. Yeah. He wanted them to have a barn dance or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
He thought the issues could be solved with a barn dance. I don't know if that's real or if that's like a fictional a drag against him, like that was created by his detractors.
I would be interested to see if methods like that have ever been used, though, in resolving things.
Well, I think it's just like a take on like break bread with your enemy sort of thing.
Right. Make a new connection.
Yeah. But I mean, taking the form of squatting, it just seems like it's stupid, right?
It seems fucking insane. It's really frustrating to hear it because it just makes you want to like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I prefer sitting.
Yeah. Fuck off.
I did read though that chairs were supposed to be very bad for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
The people are supposed to squat, but
well,
I'm not going to do it.
Are you talking about in shitting, or are you talking about just in general?
Both in shitting and in general.
Hunker down. Drop a load, son. It's good for you.
And maybe hunkering will come back.
Yeah. It never went away. That's the same saying it. Like, I feel like it's more part, I don't even think of it as being a separate thing from anything else. Like, I don't see it as a practice.
Yeah, it's just sort of hanging out, right?
Or just whatever. You're just, you don't have a fucking chair nearby. You just need to do something.
No.
I see dysfunctional. It's like...
All right, well, I enjoyed that article quite a bit. Do you have more?
No. That's it.
All right, well, I have a returning popular segment. List of Aladdin episodes.
Follow me to a place.
I like the thing where they go, it's harder, and more often than not, it's harder than hot in a lot of cool ways.
I didn't even realize that. I wondered what he said at the end of that.
I think that's what he says.
When enchantment runs rampant, yeah. It's like it's got some good like quick rhymes.
Hold on, and here we go. Yeah, it's a fun one.
All right, let's run through them. All right,
episode 21, Lost and Founded. Abiz Mal steals a magic hourglass that acts as a time machine, and with Aladdin and his friends, he travels back to the year where Agrabah was founded and plans for his ancestor, Abnor Mal, to become the Sultan to change history. Aladdin must prevent this before it is too late. In this episode, we learn that Agrabah was founded by Sheikh Hamad, the ancestor of the current ruling family. That sounds pretty superfluous information to include on this this episode description, though. Episode 22, Moonlight Madness. On the night of the full moon, Aladdin is caught between his promise to spend the night alone with Jasmine and his desire to help his friends uncover a mysterious treasure. What do you think of that one? It sounds like he could have gotten laid, right?
But I mean, isn't he like the prince or whatever? Like,
no.
Is he still like a thief?
Well, he's not. I don't think he does. I think he just goes on adventures now.
Pretty sure it's a little catastrophe. Aladdin was catastrophizing what was going on a little bit.
But what do you mean?
He probably could have done the shit with his friends and banged her at a later point.
Well, he promised he would spend the night with her, but he was out with that stupid monkey.
He's got to do what he's got to do. He should get off his dick.
No. Two competing notions of what should have happened. Episode 23, The Flawed Couple. Mechanicles and Abiz Mal meet and find they have the same common enemy, Aladdin. Luring Aladdin and his group into a trap, they plan to use Mechanicles' robotic insects with Abiz Mal's magical mood stones, which change a person's emotions to a specific emotion to throw the group into disarray to complete their revenge. And it doesn't say how that one turned out, but I'm pretty sure Aladdin got the best of them. How do you think of it? How do you feel about that one? Mechanicles and Abismal teaming up.
Oh, it's a good concept.
Yeah, I like the idea of Mechanicles using his robots, which is his like only thing. But Abismal, I like the mood stone where he can give people different emotions, and that makes, I guess, everyone sort of quarrel and be at each other's throats, I imagine, or just like off their game in general.
Well, hasn't he also been like what is it? He's always using like psychological magic or some shit like that, it seems like.
Yeah, I guess.
Like some shit that makes you forget something or shit like that.
They all do stuff like that, all the different villains. Episode 24, Reign of Terror, and rain is spelled like the weather phenomenon. While in the rainforest with Abu and Genie, Iago is given Thundra's mystical amulet that controls and manipulates the weather and the 5 elements: water, fire, earth, and quintessence, while she takes a vacation. However, Thundra's enemy Malco tricks Iago into giving it to him, and now the three have to give it back get it back for Thundra's sake. And it says Aladdin and Jasmine are both absent from this episode, so it's just the sidekicks in this one.
They got to do those little character develop.
Yeah, I guess. All right, episode 25. Sadira's up to Dune Quixote. Sadira's up to her old tricks again as she casts a spell on Aladdin, making him think he is her knight in shining armor and Abu is his loyal steed. Before she can transport them both to her fantasy kingdom, Jasmine, Genie, and Iago stop them. But when Genie messes up the spell with his magic, it causes some side effects, where Aladdin still thinks he is a knight and Abu is a mule. Now everyone must recreate Sadira's fantasy in real life, and Aladdin must give Sadira true love's kiss before the spell can be broken. However, as Jasmine disagrees with the plan, she and Sadira begin to talk and make peace in their rivalry towards Aladdin's affection. So that's an interesting one. Yeah. All right, well, should I do one more, or you want to move on to the next one?
What season are we in?
This is the first season, but as I told you, there's really only one giant season and then two like short seasons.
What are we up to?
That was episode 25.
25. All right, let me hear one more.
All right, episode 26. The day the bird stood still. Abismal has cured the Sultan's bath oils. Cursed the Sultan's bath oils with the aid of a venom from a rock Ifrit. And Iago is cursed when he sneaks into the Sultan's bathroom and uses the oil. However, when no one shows any concern of going after the antidote before he turns completely to stone at sundown, he strikes a bargain with Abismal, Genie's lamp, in exchange for the antidote. That's a...
Yo, fucking don't blame him, though. Nobody fucking gave a shit, you know?
I think they were mad at him because he was going where he shouldn't belong, but...
he was fucking turning to stone, though. Like, they can go fuck themselves over that. I totally am on his side in this. They were being cocksuckers to him.
I guess. Yeah, you're right, but... I mean, he shouldn't... It doesn't mean he should give Genie's lamp to Abismal.
Fuck them. Better that than stone. Are you kidding me? They didn't leave him with any choices. What's he supposed to heroically turn to stone? Fuck off.
I'm not saying that it's out of character for him, but it's still not two wrongs don't make a right.
No, I don't think what he did was wrong. Like, I think he showed a Faustian spirit to not be brought down.
So let's say you have cancer, and none of your friends want to help you cure it. Does that mean it's okay for you to kill your friend and steal his money to pay for the chemo?
Well, I mean, I'd sell the lamp.
Yeah, but I think Genie's lamp is not just his lamp. I think it has to do with...
It's just like it's just selling his friend into slavery or whatever.
I think essentially that's what they're getting at. But what I imagine also is that, it was a trick the whole time. They were using Iago to somehow catch Abismal. I think that's what it probably was, but...
I mean, whatever, like, sure it's bad, but, they didn't really... The guy, like... Context matters.
I think what's going on is they knew Iago. If they turned their back on Iago, they knew Iago would try to sell Genie's lamp, and they were doing a counter. They were setting up a trap somehow for Abismal, and they just didn't let Iago in on it because they thought he could sell it better if he didn't have to, if he didn't have to lie, if he was doing it from his own, motivations. But again, I don't know if that's the case. That's just me, hypothesizing.
Well, I hope for their sake, that's what it was.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have another article? Or you want to get to the games?
Let's get to the games.
All right.
So, let me see here. All right, I'm going to read you names, and I can give you information. Hold on, I'm going to take a quick break again. Let me take a pee.
Another one?
Yeah, 1 second.
Jesus Christ.
I've been drinking a lot of fluids. I'm fighting the flu. Give me a fucking...
Okay, all right.
Be right back.
You might have to send donations to wikifiends@gmail.org so that Dave can buy a giant piss jug so he won't have to keep leaving the computer. Arabian Nights, like Arabian days. More often than not, are hotter than hot in a lot of cool ways. Arabian
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I have a list of names here, and they're either people who have been castrated or they committed suicide by poison.
Okay.
So I'm going to read you their name, and you can ask me, like, what time is this? You can ask me about a little bit of their background. But they either were castrated at some point or took suicide or committed suicide by poison. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me see. Marshall Applewhite.
Isn't that both?
Yes, I believe it is.
So you started off with a trick question?
Yeah.
All right. Marshall Applewhite, also known as Bo Him Do, was the leader of the Heaven's Gate cult.
That is correct.
Yeah.
All right. Ignatios of Constantinople.
I'm gonna guess poison.
Saint Ignatius was a patriarch of Constantinople from 847 to 858.
No, that would be castrated then.
He was castrated.
Yeah, the saints don't commit suicide.
All right. Let me see here. Miles Cindercombe.
Poison.
Yes, he was the leader of a group that tried to assassinate Oliver Cromwell.
Okay.
Magnus V of Norway.
Castrated.
Correct. Okay. Jaromir, Duke of Bohemia.
Poison?
Jaromir was the second son of the pious and Elma of Munich. In 1003, he rebelled against his older brother, Belarius, who had him castrated.
Okay.
Bob Champion.
Champion. What time period is this?
1948, an English former jump jockey who won the 1981 Grand National.
I'm going to guess poison.
Castrated.
Oh. Who did it?
Testicular cancer.
Okay, all right. So that's a medical procedure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Correct.
All right.
Peter Voigel, a German film actor, appeared in 66 films between 1954 and 1978.
Poison?
Poisoned himself, committed suicide.
Yeah.
Let me see. Art Accord, an American silent film actor and rodeo champion.
Poison.
Poisoned, correct.
Yeah, rodeo champion's not going to castrate himself.
Rodeo champion would never do this.
I guess someone else could, or maybe a bull could castrate him.
That's right. Reverend, yes.
But that didn't happen. He poisoned himself.
He was not gored in the genitals, no.
Yeah.
Reverend Clarence Virgil Thompson Richardson, born 1876, died 1912.
That guy poisoned himself.
Castrated.
Oh, really?
Yes.
By his own hand or by another? It doesn't say.
Says he has a mental health history.
Okay, so...
let me see. I don't know. He complained of pains in his neck, back, and testes. Blah, 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 blah. It looks like he probably did it to himself at some point. All right. Let me see. Boston Corbett.
Oh, he castrated himself. The guy that shot John Wilkes Booth.
All right.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows this.
Yeah, cast himself after he's approached by prostitutes.
Terry Long, American football player.
Poison.
Yes, he drank a gallon of antifreeze in 2005.
Ugh.
Let me see. John Suckling. He was the inventor of the card game cribbage and was a Cavalier poet.
Castrated.
Poison.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
Sporus.
What?
Sporus. It's an ancient Greek.
That could go either way.
Ancient Roman, actually.
I'll take castrated then.
Yes. It's a boy Roman Emperor Nero supposedly favored and had castrated and married.
Ugh. Bunch of sickos.
Yeah, Nero. Gofraid mac Ragnall, a 13th century Iberian king who descended from a long line of kings who ruled Hebrides in the Isle of Man.
Castrated.
Yes. Yeah, whatever. You're doing pretty good. You pretty much get how it works. Arno Assmann, a German film actor, director, and television writer.
That could be either one easily.
1908 to 1979.
Poison.
Yes, Arno Assmann poisoned himself.
Horrible name.
That could be either. Peter Abelard, a medieval French classic philosopher, theologian, and logician.
Castrated.
Yes. John Uthier DuPont, an American philanthropist and heir to the DuPont family fortune, born 1938 to 2010.
I'm going to guess poison.
Castrated.
Oh, really? How did it happen? Does it say?
He was murdered.
Oh. So did it happen at the time when he was being murdered, or did it happen earlier in life?
Let's see. Wait, no, he murdered someone. Oh, he murdered someone. That's what it is.
Bad dude.
Yeah. I don't see how they knew.
Did he poison the person?
No, he castrated. He's castrated.
Yeah, but the murder his victim, how did he kill the victim? Did he poison him?
A gun.
Okay. Of course.
Duh.
Yeah.
Vilimbius Agrippa, a Roman knight of the equestrian rank.
Poison.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was accused of some crime, probably treason. Let me see. I think I've pretty much gone through all of them. Harry Cruikshank, British conservative politician, Minister of Health.
I'm going to say poison.
Castrated.
Okay.
Wayne Dumont.
Oh, what's his deal?
1949-2005, an American criminal convicted of murder and rape.
Castrated.
Yes.
What do you think? It was a retribution castration?
It says nothing about it. These things just happen. I think we got all the castrations. There's a lot more.
You don't have like God, what's his name? Alessandro Moore. I'm trying to think of that guy's name. Moreschi?
No.
The only castrato to make voice recordings?
No. He must have been intact. Oh no, there's a whole separate page for castratis.
Okay.
But these will all be dead giveaways. Carlo, Scalzi, Giovanni Battista Menzi. I guess I could just do it up against like other like Italian like famous names.
like just Italian. It could be Italian. What's a good Italian thing?
Or something like or generals.
Yeah. All right.
They did pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty good at that game.
You got a future in it.
All right, so the next article or the next game I have is I'm working from Wikipedia's hate crime article. This is a table of victims in the United States. So I'm going to read some of the groups, and I want you to tell me who. I want to see how much you know about hate crimes. Are there more hate crimes committed against Jewish people or against the LGBT community?
Like nationally?
nationally, total number of hate crimes. More against Jewish or more against LGBT?
Let me say Jewish.
That's incorrect. All right, how about this? Jewish or Muslim?
Definitely Muslim by this point.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is Jewish.
And this is supposed to be current?
This is current. This is 2008 to 2012.
Okay.
Which I guess is the most recent...
2008 to 2012?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, the two questions I asked were total number of hate crimes. All right. How about this? Were there more hate crimes committed against white people? Just essentially that's for being white. Or more hate crimes committed against people for being heterosexual?
Let's say white.
You are correct. And I'll tell you the number. There were 3,459 attacks against white people for being white, and 118 attacks against heterosexuals for being heterosexual. So
imagine it's pretty low.
Yeah. All right. So how about this? Total number: more attacks against heterosexuals or against atheists/agnostics?
That might be heteros in that one.
That is correct. It's 118 heterosexuals versus 47 atheist agnostics.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about that.
But what's interesting, the rate per 100,000 people is higher for atheist agnostics. So it's 0.3 people per 100,000 versus 0.0 for heterosexuals. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's go for rate per 100,000 people. Were there more attacks per 100,000 people against blacks or against Muslims?
It's tough. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like now definitely would be Muslims, but back then I'm gonna say blacks.
No, that one's pretty close per 100,000. It's 41.1 out of 100,000 Muslims, and 34.4 per 100,000 blacks.
So Muslims are still attacked more frequently.
They're more frequently, but the sheer number is 13,411 total number of blacks were attacked for being black, and only 761 Muslims were attacked for being Muslim.
Okay.
So that's a big despair. That's a big leap. Blacks as a general total sheer numbers were attacked the most, but again their percentage of attacks was not the highest. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. All right. How about, were there more attacks against Hispanics for being Hispanic or whites for being white? Total number.
Let's say whites for being white.
Yes, you're correct. 3,459 versus 3,064. But again, the percentage rate, 6.1 Hispanics to 1.5 whites.
And what is the source on this based on, right? This is like from like crime, FBI statistics or something?
Let's see here. Yeah, it seems like it's FBI.
Now, like, with those kind of things, especially, like, I don't know, comparing, like, Mexicans, especially, or, like, Hispanics with any other group, you got then to factor in underreporting that they seem lower on a lot of things just because of a lot of stuff doesn't get reported. People not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very possible. All right. All right, here's a tight one. Total number. Were there more attacks on Aboriginal people, which I guess would mean Native Americans, or against Catholics?
It's like people attacked for being Catholic or for being Native. Or is this in Australia? Is that what they mean? Native?
No.
Indigenous folk, or like what do they mean?
It says Aboriginal. I would assume that would mean, from the context, I would assume that would mean Native American.
I don't know. Catholic.
No, there were more attacks on Aboriginals. There were a little under 30 more attacks. But percentage-wise, it's a much higher percentage than Catholics. 12.4 Aboriginal to 0.5 Catholic.
Yeah, like, who the fuck even would attack the Catholics at this point anymore?
Yeah, I don't. That is kind of weird. I mean, maybe some really, really, old guard Ku Klux Klan.
I guess.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to percentages. Which, out of 100,000 people, the rate per 100,000 people, which group was attacked more, Jewish or LGBT members?
I'm going to say LGBT.
No, incorrect. LGBT had a higher total hate crime amount, but the Jewish population has a higher percentage.
I see.
Of 84.9. But when you get into the violent crime rate, so not just general hate crimes, which I would imagine would be, maybe destruction of property or like spray painting slurs on someone's home.
Yeah, no, so I was thinking more physically. I just feel like you just hear about that more often.
Physically, it is more total number for LGBT, and much more a much higher percentage per 100,000 people for violent crimes.
Yeah. I thought I was getting caught up on that, I think.
Yeah, no, this is just general. I was on the general thing, but yeah. There were only 5 violent hate crimes against atheists and agnostics, and 32 violent hate crimes against Catholics. It seems like keeping with this, the black people have more violent hate crimes against them than LGBT, but the LGBT violent hate crime percentage is higher than black. Yeah. So
makes sense.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that the percentage for Jewish people, their total hate crime percentage of general hate crime is 84.9. Can you guess what the percentage per 100,000 people for violent hate crime is?
I feel like it would be big news. I feel like I feel like I rarely do hear about it, so I imagine it'd be fairly low.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I imagine it would be. like much less.
Well, I'll give you the example. The rate for LGBT is 35.6. The rate for black is 11.2. Can you guess what the Jewish rate is?
Say like 6 or 4 or something.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's 7.8.
Yeah.
But it seems like LGBT is the most sort of oppressed group, I would imagine.
Well, and then it's like, yo, he's gay, I'm gonna beat him up, like all that kind of shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's like more. I feel like that I would think that would be the most common identity physical dispute.
Yeah. I don't know. So I guess that's my game. Not a very fun one.
Yo, you've done like 2 like weird fucking racial games. You have like a big stack of these.
These are from a while. I was trying to like
sneak them in.
I was trying to find a point where I could do it and it wouldn't be weird, but I kind of wanted to burn them off. So.
Oh, okay.
So it was probably not the best call on my part to put them back to back.
How many more of these you got? You want to do a show of all? Welcome to Race Games. All games about race.
Well, this one's not just race. I mean, it's LGBT. That's not race.
That's true. Hate crimes. It's a little different. Different.
Were there more attacks on Catholics or more attacks on Protestants?
Let me say Protestants.
That is correct. Oh, no, wait. It's incorrect. More attacks on Catholics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, it seems like the group that has it the best percentage-wise is heterosexual.
Yeah. Well, Protestant heterosexual.
Yes.
Duh.
Which I would imagine would be white.
It's Anglo-Wasp.
White, Protestant, heterosexual. And it doesn't include gender, but I would imagine it would be. I don't know, though. I don't know if people are attacked. I would say men are attacked more, but I would imagine it would be less often for being a man.
Yes.
And more just incidental that it was a man.
Yes.
And maybe women are attacked more based on their gender because they're more likely to be a victim of a sex crime. But I don't know if you count in the prison thing, I think the men have a higher. They're attacked more in prison, so I think that you also have to take that into account. I don't know. This might be out of my ballpark, out of my league.
No, these things are always. I don't know. It's good they keep track of them, but it's always kind of like I don't know what to like. You know, it is almost the lies, damn lies.
What?
Was it lies, damn lies, and statistics?
I see. I think it's like a devil is in the numbers.
What do you mean? Like
I don't know.
You know, the devil's in the details. You know what I'm saying?
And there's also the thing about you can make the numbers.
Yeah.
You can make the numbers do whatever you want. There's like a pithy saying that goes with that.
Yeah. No, but like the 2000. This is like from 2012. Like, you know, I'm trying to like think about. Just forget about the past couple years of developments.
What do you mean?
Well, like Black Lives Matter and shit, and like new wars and new attacks. Like, I imagine that shit.
I mean, do you think the percentage of attacks on black people is less or more since like Black Lives Matter? I would imagine it would be somewhat consistent.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, you know, a part of me feels like it would be more.
Like as like payback sort of thing?
Yeah, like, oh, well, it's justified. You gotta stop you before you're burning everything down. Like, there's kind of like a little bit of a clap on that.
I don't.
People feel more morally justified to get up in arms
against black people.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, they're just going to do that. So
I don't know. My guess would be it would be consistent, but I don't think it would be more or less as a general, amount of attacks.
I mean, I feel like 2000. I don't even know what's going on then, but like, I feel like there would definitely be something in the numbers would be happening in terms of Muslim hate crimes and black hate crimes since a lot of recent events.
Well, I would imagine it would be a thing like maybe Muslim would have gone up after 9/11, sort of a thing.
Yeah. Well, 9/11's factored into 2012 though, so
yeah.
But there were residual years, like that stuff kind of.
Well, I'm saying it would have been. You would see a big jump, I would imagine, pre 9/11 to post 9/11.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If you did it a few years after, the rates may have gone up significantly because that would have got a few more post 9/11 years in there when the rates probably were a lot higher.
All right. Well,
that's an interesting thing, though.
Yeah. I wish I knew what that... You could make the numbers do whatever you want. I don't know. It's like a thing against statistics.
Yeah. Let me see. Whatever.
Did you just look up what I said?
No, fuck this shit. All right, let's wrap it up, man. Good episode.
All right, well,
shit.
That'll happen.
No, nothing.
All right. Well, this is Joe. And
this is David.
And we're the Wikifiends. I want to remind you to check out Omegaland, post-apocalyptic tarot deck, available on Amazon.com. And that's all from me.
Cool.
So have a good night.
Good night.
All right, well.
Cool.
What song do you think you're going to use for it? The regular one again?
Yeah, of course.
If you want a song to go out to, Wikipedia has a song from that Castrated, the only recording.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Here, why don't you email it to me?
Yeah, all right, I'll email it. Do you want me to just send it in the link?
Yeah, that's fine too. Let me open this up.